Tonight, instead of entering a modern football stadium filled with bright lights and roaring crowds, you are about to travel back more than 2,000 years, long before the FIFA World Cup, long before famous clubs, professional players, or television broadcasts. You are about to discover where one of the world's favorite sports may have truly begun. Football. Today, billions of people gather to watch the beautiful game. Entire cities pause during important matches. Children dream of becoming professional players, while stadiums echo with songs that can be heard for miles. But football did not appear overnight. Its story stretches across ancient civilizations, forgotten kingdoms, and dusty fields where the rules were very different from the game we know today. So settle in, relax, and allow your imagination to drift into the distant past. The year is around 300 BC. You find yourself standing in ancient China. The morning air is cool, and soldiers gather inside a large military training ground surrounded by wooden walls. Instead of preparing only with swords and bows, they begin another unusual exercise. A leather ball is placed carefully on the ground. This game is called Cuju. Many historians believe it is one of the earliest organized ball games in history, and perhaps one of football's oldest ancestors. The objective is surprisingly familiar. Players must keep control of the ball and send it through a small opening suspended high above the ground. Unlike modern football, hands are rarely used. Skill, balance, precision, and teamwork are far more important than brute strength. As you quietly watch the training field, the movements appear graceful. The players pass carefully. They avoid unnecessary force. Every touch seems deliberate. For military officers, Cuju is more than entertainment. It improves coordination, sharpens concentration, builds discipline, and perhaps, without anyone realizing it, it also plants the earliest seeds of a sport that will one day unite the entire world. As centuries pass, similar games begin appearing elsewhere. Across mountains, deserts, and seas, different civilizations discover that people naturally enjoy chasing a ball with their feet. Eventually, your journey brings you westward. You now arrive in ancient Greece. Here, physical fitness is considered one of life's greatest virtues. Young men spend countless hours exercising, wrestling, running, throwing spears, and participating in athletic competitions. Among these activities are several ball games that encourage teamwork and movement. The exact rules have been lost to history. No complete written guide has survived. But ancient artwork and historical descriptions reveal groups of players passing balls across open spaces while attempting to outmaneuver one another. Victory is earned through clever positioning, speed, and cooperation, rather than individual glory. Sport is deeply connected to education. A healthy body is believed to create a healthy mind. Competition is respected, yet balance and self-control are admired even more. The atmosphere feels calm compared to the enormous stadiums of the modern world. There are no giant crowds, no television cameras, only the sounds of footsteps, laughter, and leather striking against the ground beneath the warm Mediterranean sun. Yet football's journey is still only beginning. Soon, another civilization will transform these simple games into something far more physical, demanding, and intense than anything that came before. Your journey now continues toward the growing power of ancient Rome. The Romans admired strength, endurance, and discipline. Naturally, they also embraced games that demanded all three. One of these games was called Harpastum. Compared to the graceful movements of Cuju, Harpastum was far more physical. Players fought for possession with determination. Passing was fast, movement was constant, strength often decided the outcome. Although historians still debate the exact rules, many descriptions suggest that teams attempted to carry or pass the ball beyond their opponents while preventing it from being stolen. The fields were uneven. There were no painted lines, no referees, no cheering crowds filling enormous stadiums. Instead, small groups gathered in open spaces beneath the Mediterranean sun. Dust rose into the air as players sprinted across the ground. Leather sandals slipped across the dry earth. Laughter mixed with heavy breathing as friends competed with one another. For Roman soldiers, these games were more than simple entertainment. They developed balance, improved endurance, built teamwork, and perhaps most importantly, they offered moments of joy during lives often filled with difficult work and military service. As the Roman Empire expanded across Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia, ideas traveled alongside armies and merchants. Games changed, rules evolved. Every region slowly created its own traditions. Centuries later, after the Roman Empire had disappeared, ball games continued to survive in villages throughout medieval Europe. These games looked very different from modern football. There were usually no official fields. Sometimes entire villages participated. The goal might simply be to move the ball from one side of town to the other. Matches could last for hours. Hundreds of people sometimes joined the game. The streets became the playing field. Open fields, rivers, and hills all became part of the challenge. There were very few rules. The game could become loud, chaotic, completely unpredictable. Yet beneath all the excitement, one familiar idea remained. People loved working together toward a common goal. They celebrated skill. They admired clever passing, and they experienced the simple joy of moving a ball with friends. As the centuries passed, these local traditions slowly became more organized. Schools introduced rules. Communities agreed upon common ways to play. Eventually, during the 19th century, football began transforming into the sport we recognize today. Standard rules were written. Clubs were formed. Competitions became official. What had once been played on dusty fields by ancient soldiers now entered a completely new era. The leather balls changed. The fields became greener. The crowds became larger. Yet the heart of the game remained surprisingly familiar. Two teams, one ball, shared excitement, and a desire to work together. Today, billions of people watch the FIFA World Cup. Entire nations celebrate together. Children kick footballs through parks, beaches, schoolyards, and quiet neighborhood streets. Without realizing it, they continue a tradition that stretches back more than 2,000 years. The names have changed. The rules have changed. The stadiums have changed, but the simple happiness of passing a ball across an open field has remained remarkably constant throughout history. Perhaps that is why football has become the world's most beloved sport, not because of trophies, not because of fame, but because every generation has found its own way to enjoy the same simple game. And as the sun slowly sets over another ancient landscape, the sounds of distant laughter begin to fade. The dusty playing fields become quiet once more. The leather ball rests upon the earth. The day's final match has ended. The players return home. The villages grow peaceful. The stars slowly appear overhead, and somewhere, across thousands of years of history, the spirit of the game quietly continues its journey into the future. Sleep well,